answer questions, solve problems, and help you find the perfect Marvin windows and doors. To be inspired, visit the most comprehensive Marvin display in the central Minnesota Lakes area over at Hilltop Lumber in Otter Tail.
Live, KVRR Local News at 8 is on right now.
Debt doubt looms over the country this morning. We'll tell you how it could mess with home prices just as buying season gets started here in the region. Then a Minnesota mom missing for 6 weeks, still no sign of her. However, friends say you can help provide clues to this mystery. Then country music's biggest night, the surprises, the standouts, and the stars of the CMAs. And he is mowing down the competition. We're meeting the Minnesota man who finds his zen on a lawnmower. Over 44 lawns a week.
Live, KVRR Local News at 8 is on right now.
Good morning. It is just after 8 a.m. Thanks so much for joining us for your only local news from 7 to 9 a.m. I'm Emily Welker. Adam has the morning off. I hope he's not mowing his lawn because, you know, we're supposed to hold off if we can to help the little bees and all the other pollinators out there for no mow May. But if you absolutely must, if you're like this guy who's really, really into mowing lawns, you're probably going to want to go out there and get it started soon because it looks great to start off the morning weather-wise, but a lot of that is going to change. We are going with that to find out just how long the weather will cooperate for our Mother's Day weekend. We're going to start off the hour with a check of the weather with KVRR morning meteorologist Mariah Bush. Good morning, Mariah.
Good morning, Emily, and good morning, Fargo. Waking up to a nice start to the beginning of your weekend. Temperatures right now right around 68 degrees and feels like 68 as well. We are seeing some winds mostly from the east and southeast this morning at 7 miles per hour. But if you're looking on the KVRR tower cam, you'll see things are up and moving, and we are off to a smooth start to our Friday. So let's take a look here on our satellite radar. You'll see some rain showers mostly staying further off to the west towards Minot and Bismarck as you're getting through the morning. But as you're heading through the later part of your day, we are going to see some of those showers mostly creeping their way through southeast North Dakota, through Oaks, through Jamestown, and through portions of Valley City. Even some isolated showers trying to work their way through portions of the Fargo-Moorhead area and slightly further north. But the further north that you get and further east, you don't have too much to worry about in terms of rain showers as well as you're heading through the beginning of your Friday and into your afternoon. As we continue into our Friday night, we're still going to see those rain chances lingering still west of the valley and through portions of west central Minnesota tonight. And there may even be the possibility of some of those storms setting up, mostly setting up south of Highway 2, mostly along I-94 as well once you're getting further south. So if you're in these areas tonight, don't be surprised if you hear some of that lightning, some of that thunder, because you'll see those darker greens and even reds are going to produce some of those heavier bands of that rain as you're heading through your Friday night. Now, waking up on your Saturday morning, again, the further north that you get, you don't have too much to worry about in terms of rain showers. But in the southern tier of the valley, through portions of the Fargo, even down to southeast North Dakota, waking up to some of those wet roads. A wet start to the morning, but things are going to clear out, and we are going to set up for a pretty good Saturday with those rain showers trying to move out of the region. Let's talk about the winds today. You'll see single-digit winds across much of the day, but then they'll pick up some speed, reaching even 20 miles per hour across the Devil's Lake Basin into your Friday night, Friday evening. So you do want to keep that in mind, but the winds are going to try to stay pretty breezy as well, even continuing into your Friday night as well. So the temperatures across the region as of right now: 68 in Fargo, 63 in Grand Forks, 64 in Detroit Lakes this morning, 59 in Carrington. And for northeast North Dakota today, you're going to see those rain showers, possible thunderstorms as you're heading through your Friday evening. 70 for the high today in Carrington, 76 in Mayville, and 74 in Grafton. Northern Minnesota, you'll stay mostly partly cloudy today, 76 in Mahnomen, 77 in Bagley. And once you're getting further south, we're going to see those rain showers working through much of the area. 68 in Fergus Falls today, 65 in Alexandria, and 72 in Detroit Lakes and southeast North Dakota. You'll have those rain showers, also the possibility of some thunder and lightning, some heavy downpours working its way into your Friday night. So you do want to keep that in mind if you're out and about in these in the region once you're getting through your Friday night. 66 in Oaks, 71 in Valley City, and 66 in Ellendale. On your KVRR Weather Authority 7-day forecast, as you're heading through your weekend, you're going to wake up to more rain showers for your Saturday, mostly staying further south with a high of 67. On Sunday for Mother's Day, things are going to dry out and get fairly nice, a high of 70. And the nice weather continues into the beginning of next week as well. 75 for the high on Monday, 73 on Tuesday, mostly sunny on Wednesday with a high of 76.
Thanks so much, Mariah. New this morning, The president's Friday meeting with top congressional leaders to discuss this debt ceiling crisis was postponed. That means the country is heading into the weekend without the matter being resolved. And this has some financial analysts concerned about a possible default and the ripple effect it could have on us, U.S. consumers. John Lawrence reports.
The United States has never defaulted on its debt, at least not yet.
We don't know exactly how any of this would play out. We kind of have a sense of the likely mechanisms, but I think there is no universe in which good things happen.
One of the numerous problems that could come if the U.S. goes broke, more damage to the already reeling real estate industry. According to Zillow, home sales would collapse up to 23%, with rates for 30-year fixed-rate mortgages going up more than 8% by this fall.
If we default on our debt, borrowing costs go up for the United States, but also for U.S. consumers, for U.S. businesses, et cetera. It becomes more expensive to get a mortgage, for example.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy's Limit, Save, Grow plan raises the debt ceiling $1.5 trillion, but cuts some domestic programs.
I have not seen from there a seriousness of the White House that they want to deal. It seems like they want to default more than they want to deal.
President Joe Biden says certain red lines will not be crossed, including the Inflation Reduction Act.
The extreme MAGA Republicans have taken control of the House of Representatives, and they're holding our economy hostage by threatening to default on our national debt, a debt we've already incurred over 200 years unless we give in to the threats and their demands.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Also new this morning, as if that's not worrying enough about our money, it turns out a large chunk of Gen Zers are working multiple jobs to deal with the rise of cost of living. This is according to a new study out by data and analytics company Kantar. The study found 40% of workers born in 1997 to 2012 have at least two side hustles to make ends meet. Gen Z is not the only generation doing this. The study also found 36% of millennials also work multiple jobs. The number of Americans who work multiple full-time gigs hit a record high last August. That is according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And the final suspect in a fatal stabbing in downtown Fargo is getting out of jail. 29-year-old Joseph Poitras was charged with accomplice to murder, but a plea deal is dropping that charge to reckless endangerment. He was released after having been behind bars since November. Earlier, 39-year-old George Ortiz was sentenced to 55 years in prison for killing 33-year-old Philip Bergquist in October. A third suspect, 25-year-old David Reyneros Jr., was sentenced last week to time served for witness tampering. Bergquist was the grandson of longtime Fargo TV weatherman Dewey Bergquist. He had just moved here to Fargo from Wisconsin. And a person held by law enforcement in the shooting death of a man in Wahpeton is headed to federal court this morning. The charge of having a gun as a convicted felon is replacing a similar one filed in Richland County against Anthony Kruger, who's 33. He was arrested and charged with murder in the shooting death of 40-year-old Jeremiah Medenwald back in January. The state's attorney later dismissed the charge without prejudice, meaning it could be brought back, and cited the need for more investigation. Kruger was accused of firing more than a dozen shots at the car Medenwald was driving. The men had been together at Dakota Magic Casino near Hankinson prior to the shooting. And there's a suspect still out on the run after a police search in South Fargo. Members of the Street Crimes Unit say they recognized the man in a vehicle and he got out and ran. Officers, including several canines, searched an area between 5th and 13th Avenues and 14th to 18th Street South. People in the area were asked to stay in their homes. They called off the search around 11:45. The suspect's identity has yet to be released, but he is wanted for outstanding warrants. And a former competitive cheerleading coach is in police custody in Fargo, charged with molesting girls in California. 44-year-old Eric Christensen of Antioch, Tennessee, was arrested last week on a warrant. He was extradited back to California and was being held without bail as of Wednesday. He's accused of molesting girls ages 11 to 16. He's facing 16 felony counts, including committing lewd acts on a child. Christensen also faces charges in Florida. He could face a possible life sentence if he's convicted on all charges. And an active call in Grand Forks about a shooter turned out to be a man shooting at a rodent. The sheriff's office and police department both responded to an area near CF Industries Thursday morning around 8:30. That's in the 4900 block of Washington Street North. They quickly determined the shots were being fired from GF Trust. That's a couple blocks away. They detained an employee who told them he was responsible for shooting at a rodent on the property. They didn't arrest him. The case is being investigated. And we could be looking this morning at final votes on a red flag law and closing the so-called gun show loophole on background checks at the Minnesota legislature. House and Senate negotiators included the controversial laws in a major public safety budget bill. It's been an open question all year whether supporters could find enough votes in the Senate, where Democrats hold just one seat majority. The conference committee's action Wednesday suggests sponsors think they've got the votes now. Democratic Governor Tim Walz promised to take action in March.
We've been having this damn conversation too long. And I think the one thing I would tell all of you around here, things are different in Minnesota this year, so we are going to move legislation to make our children safer. We are going to move legislation.
House Republican Minority Leader Lisa Demuth said it is up to Democratic Senators Rob Kupek of Moorhead and Grant Housechild of Hermantown to decide whether they're going to side with party leaders or listen to the people they represent, including their local sheriffs. And new this morning, friends of a missing woman from Minnesota are pleading with anybody who's got information about where the young working mom is to come forward. It's been about 6 weeks since Madeline Kingsbury disappeared. Here's the story.
She's gone, and no one knows what happened.
Holly Stampshire was one of Madeline's closest friends since college.
We just, I don't know, like fell in love. Like we immediately just clicked. And ever since then, we have been extremely close.
Who went from knowing every detail about each other's lives to not having a clue about what happened to Madeline.
Everyone loved her. Like, it's not one of those cases where anyone had something against her. Everyone seriously loved this woman. She did no wrong.
Stampshire says the way Madeline went missing is bizarre.
I'm at a complete loss. I don't know what to think or believe. I didn't think it was real. I was like, okay, she just took off. Maybe her phone died, which is normal. And then it kind of set in on that Sunday that we did our first kind of impromptu search.
And she's channeled her confusion into motivation to find her friend by starting the Finding Madeline Kingsbury Facebook page.
We've had a lot of great people through the page that we've met on searches or that have gone out by themselves that will message us privately. Say, hey, look, I found this. I'm not sure whether this is something I need to contact Crime Stoppers about.
While the turnout has been overwhelming, the searches are emotional.
We don't know what we'll find. We don't know if we'll find a clue. We don't know if we'll find her. So every search, you kind of have to prepare yourself for something or nothing.
Your heart really goes out to those people. You know, if you have a friend like that and that your mind automatically assumes the worst. I can't imagine living like that for weeks on end.
Yeah, I don't know how they're dealing with that either.
Now, hopefully we will get some answers for them soon. In the meantime, we got some pretty good answers for us about how long this rain's going to hang around.
Yeah, Emily, we're seeing the rain showers, but it's not going to stick around too long. It'll be pretty short-lived as we're heading through the majority of our Friday and Saturday, but I'll keep you up to date on when and where right here in about 1 minute.
You're watching KVRR Local News, where local news comes first.
Good morning, Devil's Lake. It is currently 8:14. You're waking up to a nice start to your Friday. The sun is out. Temperatures right now right around 63 degrees, and it feels like 63 as well. The winds are mostly going to stay from the east right around 11 miles per hour as you're getting through your morning, but we will see some breezier winds as we're heading through the afternoon, along with your rain chances increasing as you head into your evening. So let's take a look here on our regional satellite. We do have some of those rain showers working their way through portions of South Dakota and Minnesota as well. And as you're getting through your day today, we're going to see again the showers mostly coming as you head into the late part of your evening, mostly staying west of the valley. As you head into your Friday afternoon, you'll see those heavier banding of rain and possible storms still staying further west and south. Looks like some heavier storms working their way just fast into portions of Nebraska as well as you're heading through the weekend. But we are still seeing those rain chances work mostly through southeast North Dakota, south of Highway 2, along I-94 as you're heading into your Friday night. So you do want to keep that that in mind if you're traveling further west into the rest of your evening, because again, you'll see those widespread showers towards Bismarck, towards Minot, and we are going to see those showers continuing into your early morning of Saturday as well. You'll wake up to some of those wet roads, some damp weather conditions for your Saturday morning, but things are going to clear up, and we're going to see Saturday looking pretty nice after we head throughout the afternoon. On your KVRR Weather Authority 7-day forecast, again for your Saturday, the rain showers are mostly going to stay further south and west as you're beginning your day with a high of 67. On Sunday for Mother's Day, looking at a very nice day. Things are going to clear out and dry out with a high of 70. So your Mother's Day weekend still has some nice potential. You can still head outdoors and enjoy your Sunday as well. Monday, Tuesday, even into Wednesday, the sun's going to stick around and we're going to see that nice and calm weather with temperatures still in those mid to even lower 70s, 73 on Tuesday. So Emily, next week is looking pretty comfortable.
It certainly is. Wow, what a gorgeous lineup, especially once we get through all these thunder showers and everything.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
All right, thanks so much, Mariah. Well, COVID had us on the move for the last 3 years. Clinton Griffiths shows us where in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. For the first time since January 2020, COVID-19 is no longer officially a public health emergency. And a new report from the University of Illinois shows some people were on the move during that pandemic. The areas in orange on this map representing a population decline. Now, it reports the north central U.S. lost about 0.3% of its population. The fastest population growth was in parts of the south and the Intermountain West, while the most notable population losses occurred in parts of the Northeast, Midwest, Great Plains, and the Mississippi Delta. Egg prices are on the way down. The latest weekly egg report from USDA showing a sharp drop in the wholesale prices retailers are paying for eggs. They fell to roughly 78 cents per dozen in the first week of May. Now that's down from a peak of about $5.30 at the end of last year. The Consumer Price Index, it showed for consumers, egg prices were down 0.3% in April compared to March. And mosquito season is right around the corner. So what makes different people more or less likely to get bitten by mosquitoes? Well, one study claiming it may have something to do with the soap you use. Researchers from Virginia Tech testing 4 different soaps. They say the ones that had a fruity or flowery scent increased mosquito attractiveness, while a coconut scented one decreased it. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or anytime at agweb.com.
Well, coming up, we may not have learned enough heading into this presidential election, but we are going to try to fix that. We've got election misinformation and how you can spot it ahead of heading to the ballot box.
You're watching KVRR Local News, where local news comes first.
Well, with the next presidential election slowly taking shape, there are some growing concerns about just what kind of role artificial intelligence is going to have on campaigns. Specifically, how will we voters know what's real or fake? Brian Todd reports.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson.
Just days after being fired from Fox News, right-wing provocateur Tucker Carlson announced a new show on Twitter with a conspiratorial take on the news we consume.
At the most basic level, the news you consume is a lie. You are being manipulated.
This from the man who repeatedly laid out baseless theories on his Fox show.
FBI operatives were organizing the attack on the Capitol.
The man whose platform Carlson could soon be joining, Twitter CEO Elon Musk, tweeted that they haven't signed a deal yet, after earlier tweeting, quote, "Trust nothing, not even nothing," seemingly reflective of what Axios, in a new article, calls the new trust nothing era of American politics.
There is going to be a tsunami of disinformation in this election. It's going to be hard to know what to trust. Viewers are not going to be able to distinguish the real from the fake.
Take a recent ad produced by the Republican National Committee in response to President Biden's announcement that he's running for re-election. Images in the ad were generated by artificial intelligence, AI, and tick through a series of imagined dystopian scenarios if Biden wins.
This morning, an emboldened China invades Taiwan. Financial markets are in free fall as 500 regional banks have shuttered their doors.
Right now, it's the wild, wild west, which we saw in the RNC ad. Now, the RNC was transparent that it was AI, but again, the concern is other people won't be as transparent.
AI and the potential that it will spread misinformation is such a concern that the White House recently hosted the CEOs of top AI companies and warned them of the perils AI poses to the public.
What you're doing has an enormous potential
and a mover's danger.
These days, there are deep fakes all over social media, from a computer-generated Mark Zuckerberg to fake news anchors from China, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky supposedly surrendering, and counterfeit clips of Trump and Biden.
These sophisticated AI tools for creating fake videos is available to everybody. You don't need to be a coder or a technical person in order to use these types of techniques. Anybody can engage in disinformation, and a lot of people will be engaging in disinformation.
What can the average voter do in this election cycle to avoid falling for campaign misinformation?
Going into the 2024 election, people are going to have to be really judicious about their news sources.
Well, here in the region, a Minnesota man is convicted this morning of beheading his girlfriend and dumping her body on a busy street in Shakopee during the summer of 2021. A Scott County judge found 42-year-old Alexis Saborit guilty of first-degree premeditated murder and the death of 55-year-old America Thayer. The judge wrote in her decision his assault was brutal and vicious. According to the charges, somebody called 911 after seeing a man throw a headless body out of a car on July 28, 2021. When officers got there, they found Thayer's body next to the car. Her head was lying next to her. And Fargo police are looking for the perps behind a scam this morning that steals money from people who thought they were signing up for a local softball league. Each victim is reporting more than $100 stolen. Somebody who identifies themselves as Sean apparently used a Facebook account to collect the money, then quickly deactivated their account. Victims say the ads were very convincing with photos of sweatshirts, hats, and jerseys. Fargo police confirm there is an investigation underway, but they're not reporting any additional information yet. And a Grand Forks man is lucky to be alive this morning after crashing his pickup into the lead engine of an Amtrak train. That crash happened Thursday morning around 7:20. It was about a mile west of Interstate 29, southwest of the city. The 60-year-old man was taken to All True to be treated for minor injuries. His 52-year-old passenger from East Grand Forks wasn't injured. Both were unrestrained. Their identities have yet to be released. The North Dakota Highway Patrol is investigating. They say charges are pending. And new this morning, Title 42 restrictions have now lifted along the U.S. border. The COVID-era rules no longer apply, and now a federal judge is stopping President Biden from implementing a key part of his new plan to deal with a massive surge of immigrants. Doug Luzader has more this morning from Washington.
A federal judge now says the Biden administration cannot simply release immigrants into U.S. communities once shelters are full, and it's not clear how federal officials are going to deal with this unprecedented surge at the border. On both sides of the border with Mexico, there is uncertainty and frustration. Immigrants camping out as the rules changed overnight, with COVID restrictions now no longer in place. We are trying to get to the U.S., says this man from Venezuela, but he complained about the Customs and Border Protection app that's used to schedule asylum claims. And more immigrants are just taking their chances now, entering the country illegally.
I want to be very clear. Our borders are not open.
The Secretary of Homeland Security repeated his claims about a closed border, but that's not how thousands of immigrants see it. The White House has pinned its hopes on a new policy to bar immigrants from entering the U.S. for 5 years if they're caught crossing illegally. But a federal judge has temporarily blocked the administration's plan to start mass releases of immigrants once shelters fill up, writing in an overnight order that the process involved little to no vetting and no monitoring.
Look, we once again just passed a bill.
House Republicans just passed a measure to crack down on asylum claims and fortify the border, but Democrats say it goes too far. And border town mayors say they are being overrun.
The border is wide open. Talked to the sheriff this morning. The border is wide open. We need it closed.
Customs and Border Protection says it will comply with the court order to limit the releases of immigrants into the U.S., but they also say it will result in unsafe overcrowding. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
All right, coming up, a lot of us can find our zen out on the open road, right? Well, this guy finds it on Minnesota's lawns, 44 of them a week. We are meeting the lawnmower man after history.
Good morning, Oaks. It is currently 8:29. You're waking up to those rain showers progressing through portions of the region this morning. 61 degrees as of right now, and it feels like 61 as well. And again, those rain showers are continuing to push through, and we are seeing them continue as we head throughout the morning and into the later part of the day. But let's take a look at that satellite radar. Again, as you'll see, some rain showers mostly staying pretty isolated to areas of southeast North Dakota along Valley City and through Oaks. Heavy downpours at times, but we are still seeing things continue to move and clear out as we head throughout the morning. So let's take a look here on the Futurecast. Again, even some isolated showers through portions of west central Minnesota, further east, and again, already seeing those showers still in Oaks this morning, but things are going to continue to move through as you head throughout your day as well. So you'll see those showers in the morning, and then you'll set up for more showers and possibility of storms as you're heading into your Friday night, right around 6 into your Friday evening. Again, seeing those storms line up mostly south of I-94, stretching towards Jamestown, even towards Bismarck as you're getting through your Friday night. So if you're traveling west of the valley this evening, you do want to keep that in mind, that sometimes you're going to run into some of those showers that will be heavy at times. And we are going to see this similar pattern continue into your early Saturday morning. So as you're waking up on your early Saturday morning, waking up to some wet conditions as you're getting out the door, and you'll see those showers still spreading to the west as you head throughout your day and into the afternoon. Mostly isolated to certain areas. Once you're getting further north and to the east, you don't have too much to worry about in terms of rain showers, but south and west, you are going to see those rain showers progressing through the region throughout your Saturday and Friday. Let's talk about the winds this morning. Still seeing single-digit winds as you're beginning your day, but they are going to pick up some speed as you're heading through your day, reaching even 10 to 20 miles per hour, mostly breezy across the Devil's Lake Basin into northeast North Dakota. So highs across the region today, 76 in Fargo, 72 in Detroit Lakes this afternoon, as well as in the Devil's Lake Basin. And of course, you're going to see some of those showers with storms as you're heading into your Friday night. And those rain showers will continue on into your Friday night, early Saturday morning, with your overnight low staying pretty comfortable. 59 for the low tonight in Fargo, 57 in Grand Forks, 56 in Jamestown, as well as in Oaks. So again, you want to keep the umbrella with you if you're traveling west of the valley as you're heading through the beginning of your weekend. On your KVRR Weather Authority 7-day forecast for your Saturday, a high of 67, with again those rain showers staying mainly south and over into the west. But as you're heading through your Sunday for Mother's Day, things are going to dry up and look pretty nice. 70 for the high on Sunday, and Monday will stay partly cloudy with a high of 75.
All right, looking pretty lovely once we get done with these showers for the next couple days.
Yes, I agree.
I like it. Thanks so much, Mariah. Well, the grisly and tragic end to a massive manhunt in a case that was dubbed the crime of the century came on this day in 1932. Charles Lindbergh's son, the famous Lindbergh baby, was kidnapped out of his nursery March 1st, 1932. The kidnapper sent ransom notes demanding increasing amounts of money and sparked nationwide interest in the case. The 20-month-old's body was found May 12th, partially buried about 4.5 miles from the home the kidnappers took him. Investigators determined he had been dead at that point for about 2 months. The investigation into the death was massive. The FBI and President Roosevelt both got involved, and they ran into dead ends for more than 2 years, until September of 1934, when authorities arrested Bruno Richard Hauptmann. He was tried, convicted, and executed in April of 1936. A nation united in horror, an innocent child. Just heartbreaking still, all these decades later. Stick around. We've got lots more coming up on KVRR Local News, a lot lighter news, especially if you're a fan of rabbits and Monty Python. It's a real-life attack bunny, so don't go away.
You're watching KVRR Local News, where local news comes first.
It was a big night for country music, the 58th Academy of Country Music Awards in Texas, and we've got a look at the big winners, performances, iconic hosts, and rock star moments. Here's Fox's Ashley DeVorkin.
Are we all ready for the big party, Texas? Okay.
Country icons Dolly Parton and Garth Brooks led country music's Party of the Year, which was live streamed on Prime Video from Frisco, Texas. Parton also closed the show rocking out with a tune from her upcoming Rockstar album.
Every show must end.
Among the many other artists taking the stage to perform throughout the night were Miranda Lambert,
Bury me in Georgia.
Kane Brown,
She's an American girl.
Carly Pearce, and Trisha Yearwood.
Everything hurts and not all love leads to
Ed Sheeran performed a song from his new album Subtract and was joined by Luke Combs.
So tell me how my life goes on.
As for those winners with new trophies from the 58th Academy of Country Music Awards, Old Dominion was named Group of the Year, and Brothers Osborne took the duo title.
I got a heart like a truck.
Lainey Wilson won Album of the Year for Bell Bottom Country, and she won Female Artist of the Year. Male artist went to Morgan Wallen. And the 2023 ACM Entertainer of the Year is Chris Stapleton.
It don't matter to me wherever we are, where I wanna be.
Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Well, also new this morning, a little wee bit closer to home. We told you about how, trying out No Mow May might help out the bees, right? Now a Minnesota man is taking things in totally the opposite direction. He mows 44 lawns a week. Here's a story from Megan Zempel.
A familiar sound to Ken Kramer.
When I started in 2000, I had like 7 lawns, and right now I got 44.
He's built his own very small business over the years, mowing lawns, including 4 cemeteries. He's enlisted some family help along the way. While he does all the mowing, his daughter helps with trimming, and his wife does the accounting. Kramer works from sun up to sundown.
This cemetery here in Byron takes me about 3.5 hours to mow it, and then it takes us about 3 hours to trim it. In May and June, usually once a week, and all of them are once a week.
Over the years, he's tried to hire help.
I've tried to hire some younger kids to do the trimming, and it don't work. And I'm not saying that there's not kids out there that know hard work. There's a lot of them, but they're starting to get farther and fewer between.
Kramer says he's fine doing it all on his own.
It's just gratifying to do stuff for people.
Any advice to anyone who may not be doing their passion right now?
Just go for whatever you like to do and try and do your best at it.
As for how long Kramer's mower blades will keep turning, well, that's up in the air.
And as long as I'm able-bodied and healthy enough to do it, I'm going to do it.
Well, if you're heading out the door, maybe to fire up the lawnmower, we've got your fast forecast to help you get your day started. We're back in 2 minutes.
You've been talking about it all morning on social media.
These are the stories you're making the big buzz today. Real New Yorkers probably may have noticed they tend to have a distinctive way of speaking, and according to a language professor, a lot of folks in the Big Apple are actually losing their particular accents. A lot of New Yorkers and linguistic professor Michael Newman believe New York English may be disappearing. Newman says some of the features that have been traditionally associated with New York City English are diminishing, and thinks the younger generations are a clear example of this.
He says over time, newcomers, especially in Manhattan and parts of Brooklyn, are diluting the sound of the new New York City dialect. Although Newman says language is always evolving, New Yorkers' accent will never be silenced entirely.
Yeah, so that like classic New York kind of sound, we're not going to hear that anymore.
Oh, I like it though.
I do, yeah, totally. Yeah. It's one of those like super American sounds.
Yeah,
you
it's
know
very
what I mean?
distinctive too.
Yeah, you know you're home when you step off the plane and you're like, okay, no, this is my people. This is where I belong.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, hopefully it'll survive in some way, shape, or form.
Well, just in time for Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, the children's show Sesame Street has welcomed its first Filipino character. Meet TJ. He's the program's latest Asian American Muppet, Filipino American. Animator Bobby Pontillas based TJ on 2 of his friends' kids.
He's a cutie. Pontillas wrote on Instagram he and Sesame Workshop's creative director of character design collaborated to make TJ the character. Puppeteer and performer Yinan Shentu is the voice for TJ. A Korean American character, Ji Young, was introduced on Sesame Street back in 2021. You know, I'm kind of sad because my daughter is sort of aging out of the age range that's typically most attracted to Sesame Street. And I have to tell you, if you're going to expose your kids to TV at a young age, you can't go wrong with Sesame Street. Not just because
That's
it's
true.
educational, but it's really fun to watch.
I used to love it too. I haven't seen it in a while, but I'm glad they're introducing new things to it.
Okay, so given that we don't know anything about the new guys, who is your favorite Sesame Street character?
I'm gonna go with the Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster's awesome.
Yeah.
I am a Snuffleupagus person myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's
I
so
like him
sweet
too,
and
though.
gentle, and he has like those long fluttery eyelids. The
Yeah.
eyelashes is kind of like yours.
Oh yeah, it works. We can be twins. Well, they're soft and cuddly. What's not to love about rabbits? But in Iowa, a biting bunny has been a menace in a neighborhood.
CNN's Jeannie Mose reports.
Beware of Bunny.
Once upon a time, there lived a rabbit.
No, not Peter Rabbit. We're talking about a menacing rabbit that lives in the small city of Perry, Iowa. A black bunny, a bad bunny, a bunny caught lunging
Hey,
at someone who was perhaps expecting the cuddly kind of rabbit. Ramona Rustin also encountered it.
It just jumps up and bites me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just got bit by a bunny.
A Perry police report shows it also bit a 13-year-old who then had to have rabies shots. It chased another resident from her car to her door. No wonder it's been compared to the Dracula of bunnies, Bunnicula, a vampirish rabbit with fangs. Bunnies have long been bad-mouthed in movies, depicted as mutant rabbits, able to decapitate a knight in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. But cooler heads prevailed when Perry police lured the bad bunny into a cage and took it to the city's water treatment plant, where it was released. Neither hide nor hair of the rabbit has been seen since.
what devil creatures? What unknown terror?
Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
And that's all, folks.
Hey.
Well, that's definitely not the vision I had in my head when it comes to bunnies, but what are you buzzing about this morning? We'd love to hear about it on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. And of course, you can download the KVRR Weather Authority app on the App Store, of course. And we do have some temperature outlooks as you're heading through these next couple of months. June, July, and August, we're seeing about average in terms of temperatures and above average once you're getting further south and over into the east, stretching towards portions of the East Coast and even slightly into portions of the Northwest. So as we're heading through these next couple of months, it'll be good to mellow out and see those near average temperatures throughout portions of our region. And of course, Monday is Mother's Day, so I want to say happy Mother's Day again to all the mothers across much of our region. 70 degrees on Sunday, so it's still a good day for you to head out and enjoy your Mother's Day with some light winds as well, mostly going to stay from the east and northeast. And of course, Emily, happy early Mother's Day.
Oh, thank you. I have to tell you though, Mariah, as long as we're talking about surprises with rabbits,
yes,
I've had pet rabbits. Don't get a rabbit.
Yeah,
They're the worst.
My
And yes,
mom
they
used to have
do
rabbits,
bite.
and she said the same thing, so I'm going to take both of your words on that.
Leave them in the yard where they belong.
Yes.
All right, thanks so much, Mariah. Well, coming up, it's a vehicle powered by beer, but don't worry, you're not risking a DUI. It's the beer-powered motorcycle, a Minnesota man made, and it's in 2 minutes.
You're watching KVRR Local News, where local news comes first.
A man in Minnesota builds a motorcycle that runs on liquid you buy at a bar rather than at the gas station. Fox's Maury Glover speaks with the inventor about this latest work.
The people who know me, they always kind of expect something a little bit different from me that comes out of the shop.
Over the years, Kai Michelson has made everything from a rocket-powered toilet to a jet-powered coffee pot. But his latest creation is making a different kind of buzz.
One thing about this motorcycle is definitely different. And I like to be really creative, do things that other people have never done in the past.
Michelson has built what he believes is the world's first beer-powered motorcycle in his garage in Bloomington. Michelson says instead of a gas engine, the bike has a 14-gallon keg with a heating coil inside. So when he pours beer into the keg, the liquid heats up to 300 degrees.
Storm fire in 3, 2, 1.
And when it goes out the nozzles in the back, the beer turns into superheated steam, which provides enough thrust to move the bike forward.
The price of gas, it's getting up there. I don't drink. I'm a non-drinker, so I can't think of anything better than use it for fuel.
Michelson says he hasn't taken his homemade motorcycle out on the road just yet, but he has entered it into a few local car shows where it has won first place. And while the Rocket Man, as he is nicknamed, has traded horsepower for hops power, he believes his motorcycle could reach speeds up to 150 miles per hour.
Yeah, it could be any kind of liquid. It could be Red Bull, it can be Caribou coffee, it could be anything, but beer, why not?
Michelson plans to test his beer-powered motorcycle on a drag strip sometime soon. But after a few demonstrations, it will probably end up in the museum in his house. His bike may be more of a boozer than a cruiser, but Michelson believes his unusual invention has raised the bar.
But we're right in its early stages, but we got it running, we got it built, and I think it looks pretty cool.
Coming up, a troubling story about turtles, but the video is totally adorable. It's the reptile revelation to start the weekend off right, and it's in 2 minutes. The United States is conducting an in-depth environmental study on the effects of dredging on sea turtles. Check it out. The Army Corps of Engineers is taking a look at whether dredging a Georgia shipping channel would threaten the rare sea turtles that nest on nearby beaches. Environmentalists had actually sued the agency's plan to end a policy that for 3 decades prohibited the dredging of sand and mud from harbors in Georgia and the Carolinas during the nesting season. Giant loggerhead sea turtles, they don't stay this small forever, are federally protected as a threatened species. The Army Corps is responsible for keeping shipping channels clear of accumulated sediments to ensure safe passage for ships. Plus, they're cute, so we should protect them.
They should definitely be protected.
Weather, good for turtles, right?
It is. We're looking at some pretty good weather as you're starting your Friday. Temperatures right now right around 71 through the morning. So off to a very comfortable start to our day. We are seeing some partly cloudy skies across much of our region. And as you're heading through the rest of your day today, we are going to continue to see these partly cloudy skies and some showers. We already saw some showers through portions of Oaks this morning. And we're going to set up for more showers through today and heading through your Saturday with more possibility of storms heading into your Friday evening. Still mostly staying west of the valley towards portions of Jamestown and Bismarck, but overall we'll see those temperatures setting in the lower 70s as you're heading through your day today. So on your KVRR Weather Authority 7-day forecast as you're heading through your weekend, again you're dealing with rain showers today and through your Saturday morning, mostly staying further south and west into your weekend, but things dry out and clear up for your Sunday on Mother's Day with a high of 70. And then as you're heading through the beginning of your week on Monday, things clear up and we're back onto that nice track of good weather and comfortable temperatures, 73 on Tuesday and mostly sunny.
Okay, looking absolutely gorgeous. Just remember to keep that umbrella handy the next couple days.
Yeah, especially if you're traveling west towards Bismarck, you want to keep that with you as well.
Absolutely. And then it's smooth sailing, it looks like, for the rest of what's to come next week.
Yeah, next week is looking pretty nice. We're going to have the sun sticking around for multiple days, so I think everyone's going to be able to enjoy the beginning of next week and even into Wednesday.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Mariah. Well, Family Feud is next. Catch all your news, weather, and sports throughout the day on KVRR.com and the KVRR Weather Authority app. Check us out tonight at 6 and 9. We'll see you Monday morning.